Well, hello, class. This week we are going to learn how to use a tool, a free online tool called eSword to do a word study. Now, first of all, I believe your textbook would encourage you to go to Blue Letter Bible. You can also use Blue Letter Bible, but I have found eSword is a little bit easier to navigate. So I'm going to use eSword and show you how to use this as a tool. So go to e-sword, Google it, download the program. Now here's what you're going to get. When you open it, well, first of all, it's going to give you probably 4 windows, and you can eliminate 3 of those windows by closing the little pin in each of the windows. I always like to work with just one version open at a time, and it's going to give you a King James version, and here's the magic, secret magic thing that makes this whole thing possible, King James Plus. The King James Plus gives you a King James version, but by every word is a number. Mr. Strong years ago assigned a number to every word in the English Bible. If it has a G in front of it, that stands for Greek. If it has an H in front of it, that stands for Hebrew. And what you can do is do a quick word study, not just on the English word, but on the number. So it will then give you a quick listing of every occurrence of that word by listing every verse that it appears in. Okay. Now, you want to be able to do this in Greek and Hebrew. Why? Well, because if you do a concordance word study in just an English version, well, first of all, the different English versions may not translate all the words the same way. That's why there are different versions. So you may get different results whether you're using the ESV or the NIV or the King James or the New King James. All right, so you want to be able to get back to the Greek. You also want to get back to the Greek and Hebrew for this reason. Sometimes your English Bible will translate 2 different Greek words with the same English word, or it will translate the individually same Greek word with 2 different English words. So you want to get back to the original language to do your word study most of the time. Now, there's a place for doing an English study, but I'll show you that in just a minute. Now, the other thing you want to know with this program is you can get a free version of the ESV. What you do is you go to Downloads up here, click on Bibles. Here's a list of the free Bibles that you can get. Navigate down to here it is, ESV, double click on it. It'll move down into this box and it'll start to download your ESV. And then I think it'll tell you to restart the program, and then you'll find that you have ESV. Don't worry about the ESV Plus, the King James Plus. All right. Now, let's jump right into your assignment. Okay, it says in Matthew 5:13 the word salt appears. What is the Strong's number for the English word salt? So here, I like to study in the ESV. I'm going to go to Matthew, and here's your navigation panel. You click on the book, you click on the chapter. So we're going to go to Matthew 5:13. You are the salt of the earth. Now, I want to know, what's the Strong's number? Well, I'm going to switch over to King James Plus, and usually when you do that, you're going to have to re-navigate down the page. But here it is, ye are the salt of the earth. The number is G217. Okay, there's the answer, your first answer. What's the G? G stands for Greek. If it has an H in front of it, you know it's in the Old Testament, it's Hebrew. All right, so there is the Strong's number. Okay, next, what is the English transliteration for the word salt? Right? So what's the transliteration? Well, let's use another word. Let's use the word men here. All you do is put your cursor on the number. It's going to say G444. Then there's the Greek word, which is probably Greek to you, but it says anthropos. You go, what is that? Well, the next word is the transliteration. It's taking the Greek letters and putting them into English. And so if I were to ask you, what is the transliteration for the word men in Matthew 5:13, you would write anthropos. You're going to do that for the word salt for your second question. Then how many times does this Greek word for salt occur in the New Testament? Now, here's where things get magical. Let's, for example, I'm not going to do it on salt, but let's use the word heaven. You put your cursor not on the English word, not on the English word, not on the English word, but on the number. You right-click the number, and you get a little box, and the first option says, Quick Search on G3772. And you can tell it to search the entire Bible, which won't do you any good if you're doing a Greek word because it's only going to do it in the New Testament, the Old Testament, the New Testament, or just in Matthew. So let's say we just want to click it up, find how many times it appears in Matthew. You click it, and a little search box appears, and every occurrence of the word heaven now appears. Every occurrence in the Gospel of Matthew appears here in this search box, okay? And at the very bottom, it gives you the total. In 74 verses, there are 84 matches, all right? Now, another little hint. Once you have a search box open, you can move it around, and you've got all the results here, but I like to look at it in the ESV. Don't change anything in the search box, but go back to your main version over here and switch it over to ESV. Now, when I click on the results in the search box, it's going to take me to that verse, and I can study it in the ESV, which is a lot easier than in the King James. Okay, so let's go back now to the question, how many times does it appear in the entire Bible? So we'll go back to King James Plus, and the word heaven, I'm going to right-click it, and I'm going to look at it in, well, let's do the New Testament. How many times does the word heaven appear in the New Testament? If you go all the way down to the bottom, you get a chart where it actually lists its occurrence, how many verses it is found in, and the number of hits, number of matches in each book of the New Testament. So the word heaven is found in 264 verses, and there are 284 matches. So you are going to be doing that with the word for salt. How many times does it occur in the New Testament? Then the next question is, in how many verses does this Greek word occur in the New Testament? The number of verses is going to be different than the amount of hits, because sometimes the word appears once or twice or three times in one verse. Okay. Then the next question, how many times does the word occur outside of the Gospels? So with the word salt, okay, you're gonna exclude the Gospels, but you're gonna look at the other books that it appears in, count them up, and that's your answer. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to the next question. As salt, we don't want to lose our savor or taste. How many times does this Greek word appear in the New Testament? So here, I'm going to just keep it in the King James. If the salt have lost its savor, and it's G3471, okay? So how many times does it appear? You're going to right click, and you're going to do a search on the New Testament, and you'll find out how many times it appears in the New Testament. Now, once you get your results, then in your search box, the next question, how does the ESV translate the same Greek word in English in Romans 1:22? I think you might be surprised how that same word is translated in Romans and then in 1 Corinthians 1:20. All right. How does the ESV translate this word in English in Matthew 5:13? Just, you look it up. How about in Luke 14:34? All right. Then the question is, what is the Strong's definition, just the first listing of this word savor? So here you're just going to, for example, here's the word city. I'm going to put my cursor on it. Polis is the word. And usually you get in the definition where it's derived from, but then by the time you get to the definition, it's in italics, a town. Okay? What is the first definition for the word savor? Okay? Now, one of the questions you're trying to research here is when we don't want to lose our savor as salt, what is that getting at? Is that talking about flavor, potency? What does it mean to maintain our savor? So doing these word studies and looking up different occurrences in the Bible is going to help you determine that. Okay. All right. So next, you're going to do a phrase study on the term good works, and you want to do this in English. Okay, so let's go back here to the ESV. You want to let your light shine so that they can see our good works. Now, you want to do this in English because it's hard to do a combination study in with the Greek numbers. So what you're going to do is there's a couple ways you can do it. One is you can highlight the phrase you want, right? And then go up here and click on the binoculars, and it's going to give you the listing. Okay, that's one way to do it. The other way is just don't highlight anything. Just click on the binoculars, and you are going to type good works, but you need to tell it over here in this little menu what you want it to look for. You can tell it to find verses where all of those words, both of them, or if you add another word, all of them appear. But the problem, if you do it that way, is the word good and the word works could appear in the same verse, but not together. So what you want to tell it to do is find the exact phrase. You want to find those two words together. Now, there's another option. Search for any of the words. If you wanted to, let's say you were looking at the word heaven, earth, and land, you could type those three in, search for any of the words, click, and it's going to give you all the occurrences of any of those words. Okay, but here we're after the exact phrase. You want to tell it where. I want to do it in the New Testament. Boom, you click it, and it's going to give you your results. Okay, then I ask, how many times does it appear in the New Testament? In which book of the Bible does the phrase appear most? So you go down to the table and look at that. Then you're going to do a word study just on the word works, not good, but just on the word works, and there's some questions to answer there. So I think I've given you an awful lot to think about. I would encourage you to really spend some time in this program. I use it probably every day of my life. And it's amazing how quickly you can do a word study, and you just kind of have to learn through trial and error, but it can become a really, really valuable tool for you. All right, God bless you. See you next time.